All right, so I think I'm recording. Yep, I'm recording. And let's see, the audio I'm using, yep. Okay, so yep, everything's, I think, good to go, hopefully. So welcome to the lunchtime video. This video is going to be a little bit late. I apologize, it's 15 minutes short. I had a meeting I needed to be at, and I have a meeting at 1, so it's going to be hard set to 45 minutes today. But good news is the last few videos I've been able to do an hour and a half after work, so I'll be able to make it up. We've got a bigger topic today. We finished configuration and troubleshooting. So we'll be moving on to Bgp Path Selection. So we'll be moving on to load balancing. So that might be perhaps a bigger topic. All right, so we are good to go with this notes file. So let's come up with the title and the tags. Okay, so we're no longer doing configuration and troubleshooting. We're now doing Bgp path selection. Okay, and we're doing load balancing. Okay, and this will be the first video. And just like the other ones, we're going to try to do one topic a day because I'm worried about running out of time. So we're just going to have 2 videos in this, but we'll start with this one. And again, the good news is I found it not too bad to do extra time after work. I found starting right after work at 5 has been kind of difficult for me. But if I start right at 5, I find it's kind of tough to do more than an hour. But if I give myself an hour break right after work to just kind of decompress a little bit, I find I can do an hour and a half, 2 hours, 7 to 8, or 7 to 7, 6 to 8, or 6 to 7:30 without that much problem. But going right from 5 to 6, 6:37, that's a lot harder. I have trouble making it even to 6 when I do that. So I'm kind of getting in my rhythm, figuring out how I can best study for this, so that's good. No updates yet on actually taking the test. I know travel is not recommended in these times, but unlike the CCIE, from what I understand, you can still take the JNCIE, so I kind of lucked out in that regard. If I were studying for the CCIE, it would just be completely closed down. I wouldn't even have the option of taking the test. And the good news too about the coronavirus, if you've been following it all, the death rate is legitimately, I believe, under 1%, about 0.5%. So I really don't face that much personal risk in terms of life or death. Now, the long-term benefits, I could have reduced lung capacity, that sort of thing. But there are ways to protect yourself against that, washing your hands, wearing a mask, that sort of thing. And I will be doing that on my trip. And I'll do the best I can to put that trip on this channel. Some footage from me in the plane, footage from me wearing a mask. Hopefully by that time I'll have this beard sorted out and stuff. You know, I'm just kind of working from home now, so it's not a big deal. But I've got an appointment on Saturday to kind of work that out. So, okay, so let's focus on Bgp path selection, specifically load balancing. So we're going to start the video the same way. Okay, so I just decided to go with load, and we can also do a pipe match for BGP. But it looks like this policy options load balancing looks promising. So let's just print out everything I've got here. So we've got all sorts of stuff. So multipath, I believe multipath is what they're, yeah, here we go. So this is a good one. Let's write this down. Okay. And then let's write down I saw another one that I thought was really good. Oh, and this is help reference too. So we just want to stick to help topic. Okay, so I think load isn't going to be a good search term for me. The other thing I'm going to do is, instead of searching for help, I'm going to go help topic, and then I'm going to abandon load, and I'm going to instead search for balance. Okay, here we go. So this I think is going to be better. Yep, and now policy options as well is going to be good. Okay, so now let's do for BGP, just to see if there's anything notable. And then if I see, yep, so multipath, we'll include that on there, because that's going to be for load balancing. Okay, so this is going to be good to go. I'm interested in what this apply this services I'm interested in as well. But it was apply, just kind of jumped out to me. Here we go, apply path. So this doesn't look relevant to load balancing, so I'm not going to write that down. Let's go through this list. I'm going to start with the bottom one because this is the only one that has BGP in the actual command. Okay, and I think this video, I'm just going to do some reading, and then if I find a good example in the reading, I will do that. I also might use my helper. Here we go, perfect. Example, load balancing BGP traffic. This example shows how to configure BGP to select multiple equal cost external BGP, eBGP, or internal BGP, iBGP paths as active paths. Before you begin, configure the interface devices, configure an interior gateway protocol, IGP, configure BGP, configure a routing policy that exports routes such as direct routes or IGP routes from the routing table into BGP. So coincidentally, we already have this. They're just all in confederation. Overview. The following steps shows how to configure per packet load balancing. Define a load balancing routing policy by including one or more policy statements at the edit policy options hierarchy level. Defining an action of load balance per packet. Policy statement, policy name from match conditions. Okay, yep, looks good. Apply the policy to routes exported from the routing table to the forwarding table. To do this, include the forwarding table and export statements. Forwarding table, export policy name. You cannot apply the export policy to the VRF routing instances. specify all next hops of that route if more than one exists. When allocating a label corresponding to a route that is being advertised, configure the forwarding options hash key for MPLS to include the IP payload. In this example, device R1 is in AS 5000 and is connected to both device R2 and device R3, which are in AS 5001 and 2, I believe it said. No, which are both in AS 5001. This example shows the configuration on device R1. BGP load balancing shows the topology used in this example. So unfortunately, we can't get this image because on the test, I will not have full internet access to quickly configure. So we know what that says. So yeah, let's try to. So they gave us the topology. So we already have a topology here for 5000, but it looks like they're going to have router 1, yeah, connected to other devices that are in a different autonomous system. So we already have that. We have router 1 here connected to a device in a different autonomous system. It's in autonomous system 1. And then we have device R2 here in a different autonomous system. It's autonomous system 2. But we don't have any devices in autonomous system 6500001. I mean, we do, but it's the sub-autonomous system within this confederation. So what I would like to do is create another path for the traffic from R1 to R2 to take. And that will be through another autonomous system. It'll be autonomous system 65001. And then I would like to set up load balancing so that it can get all of the advantages of load balancing. Okay, so before I do that, let's try to find what some of those advantages are. Oops, and it looks like we've got some related topics here, which are really good. Now I do have that helper script, so even though they did kind of leave me out high and dry by giving me related topics without any way to actually look them up, I do have the script I made in the last video, but unfortunately it can take up to 9 minutes at least for me to use that script. And the one I've got on there now is not going to be the one I would plan to use during the test. So let's get that on there. Okay, so this is going to be an OP script. Perfect. So I can add Python to the tags. All right, so we're good to go with that OP script. So you know what, let's actually use it. So yep, in our multipath here, we got the C also. Just to reinforce what the script does. So we're going to look for understanding Bgp multipath. The one we've got now is an example for load balancing, but we're going to do OP helper and then paste in that related topic, and hopefully we'll find it in a time period that makes sense. But before we do that, let's get this in a notepad, because this is going to be pretty essential help documentation for us to reference. And again, this is something I'll be able to do on the test without any problem, because this is a demonstration of my ability to use OP scripts, which are a topic in the curriculum. Okay, so we'll run the help helper and we'll try to find some related documentation for understanding BGP multipath better. Oops, and I'll save. I have a screenshot here I need to just save. So save desktop. So that is saved. I can close it now. Okay, so now that I can close that, oh man, my hair looks so bad. Well, I'm getting it taken care of on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. I'll do a video after that and try to get done a topic on that day, but I should be getting all of this shaved off, hopefully. I think that's what I signed up for, and then this all trimmed up. So yeah, there's a place in my area that is offering free haircuts. I'm not exactly sure why, but I will take it. Okay. Okay, so load balancing. Okay, so here's the documentation that I'm gonna be using to implement this. So we can see all we're gonna need to do is do multipath in the group for the external BGP connection, and then we specify an additional neighbor where we have the load balancing. In addition to that, we're going to need a policy statement for the route filter that has a load balance per packet. Okay, so let's set up that. So one thing that's not clear to me one thing that's not clear to me is we've got, because I'm using, let me see here. So I'd like to go, and I can't open a, well, let me do kind of more what I would like to do during the test and just take a router that I'm probably not going to use, which is router C, or at least I won't be using it for a while. And then do a CLI, start shell, cd var db scripts op, remove, oh, and now I can do vi help helper.py. Okay, so now I can apply the help helper to here. Oh, and I should be just working on memorization of it. Because if I want to do it on the exam, I can just pull up my GitHub, unfortunately. Okay, so now a CLI from here, so I can come back to this there. And then unfortunately, it's gonna set that time back down to 0, but I'll be able to poke around on that device. Oops, and I need to configure Oke Scripting as well. Okay, so oops, this is on A, so I've got to run this on C. There we go. So now this can just run, and I can do the configuration that is required on A. And then if this pops up, I have that extra bonus of getting more information, more help that I can just save in the notepad and come back to. Unfortunately, with that runtime being over 10 minutes, realistically for anything, this is really the best I've got. But I think it's way better than nothing. Okay, so let's pull up this and put it side by side with this, and now let's try to get an understanding for how I can implement load balancing. So we've got an eBGP group, and we've got an iBGP group. So what I'm thinking I would like to do is give it another path it can use to reach R2, but going through another autonomous system. So let's draw another ellipse. Okay, perfect, this looks really good. Oops, now it's connected to that. I'd like to just select, perfect, okay, there we go. So, yep, we've got another autonomous system now, so let's add a label to that. It'll be 65001. I'm thinking I can reuse that, even though it's used as a sub-autonomous system for the 65000 confederation. I'm thinking I can still reuse it because it's going to be used outside of this context. So let's use Cisco's because they're going to boot up quite a bit faster. And then we're not really that concerned about the commands on the Cisco's necessarily. So it doesn't really matter that much anyway if this is a Cisco or Juniper, because we're just going to be focusing on what we would need to add to router A. Okay, so let's cable these up. So I'll do the last port on here, and I'll do it to 0. Okay, and then I want to lower this down so I can see that link. There we go. And then I want this to 1 to 1. Perfect. And then 0 to here. Last one. Perfect. So now we can see very clearly that if I were to send a ping to router 2, I could either go through here, or I could either send it all the way down through this way, or I could send it to the other AS and then back to that way. So let's try to make it load balance through this path and this path, if possible. Okay, so should be pretty straightforward, I think. Let's take a look at the routing table on A. Okay, so we see we've got a number of routes that are already being used across the network. Let's go with 10.0.99 for these, and we'll subnet that out into a series of /30s. So let's start on router A and configure the links. Okay, so set description to R3, set family inet address 10.0.99.1/30. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to have .2 for this one. Oh, and I've got about 20 minutes left, which is good. Oops, loud noise outside. I might need to put on my headphones. Oops, so for some reason this isn't opening up. Ah, there we go. So it's going to be into 0. GI because it's Cisco. Okay, so description to A, IP address 10.0.99.2. Oops, and it's Cisco. No shut. Ping 10.0.99.1. Okay, perfect. So, and then we'll save that, of course. So now we just gotta configure up the rest of the links. And I am gonna take a quick 1-minute break. It'll just help me focus for the rest of these 19 minutes I have. All right, I am back. So let's continue where I left off, and that is configuring the Ciscos. Okay, so we're gonna do .5. No shut. Perfect. So that's all we're going to do for now. We'll need to do, of course, eBGP and iBGP configuration. And these are in a full mesh, so we don't need to worry about doing a confederation or route reflection in this autonomous system. Okay, so hopefully this changes to up, and it did. Okay, so now let's do the other one. Perfect. So got one more device to configure when it comes to just basic iNet IPv4 configuration. We will need more than that, but this is a good place to start. I believe it's going to be .10. Excellent. So should be able to ping .9. But one thing we will notice is if I do a show route, we don't have those other 99 networks yet. We're going to need a lot more. I was actually surprised to see 2 of them, but it's because we've got the local that is configured on the interface as well as the direct route. I was expecting to only see 1 direct route. The local route kind of caught me off guard. But yep, that's a good thing too, because then I can, as was seen in previous videos, I can do show route protocol local, and I can just see at a glance exactly what's configured on this router. So I'm a fan of that command. I'm a fan of seeing those routes. Now that's quite a bit different from what you see in Cisco. You don't see those local commands, you just see directly connected subnets. But you don't see what's actually configured on the interface unless you issue an additional command. Yeah, so you've got connected, but I don't see local or anything like that. Okay, so next, I think we'll be configuring the IGP within this autonomous system. So let's do that. Let's use OSPF just so that it's different from the other one. Okay, so this is all we need for a really basic stripped down version of OSPF. It's not the most secure way because things will automatically go into OSPF because you're just saying everything that's on the device, but it's definitely the fastest. Okay, so hopefully we'll see a syslog message pop up soon saying that an adjacency has formed. And we can always do a show OSPF neighbor. Okay, so we're getting nothing yet. We should be getting the route here showing up in the table. And then here we should get the route here. Aha, so yep, it just took a little bit of extra time. So we should see one additional route in the table. Perfect, it's the OSPF route that I pointed out earlier. Excellent, so we've got everything going good with OSPF. So let's set up our Bgp configuration next. And this is going to be 65001. Okay, so we're going to do neighbor. Okay, 10.99.0.1. Okay, remote AS. 65000. Okay, and then we're going to do another neighbor. Oops, and it looks like I did the wrong statement. It's not going to be 99 in the second octet, it's going to be 99 in the third octet. Okay, so now, yep, so everything looks good. And it looks like it even, sent to neighbor in wrong AS. Okay, well, that's interesting. In wrong AS, okay. Notification sent to neighbor in wrong AS. Why is it in the wrong AS? I mean, I want it to be, maybe it's because it's a sub AS. I thought this was going to be easier than it is. And I've only got 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes, because I got a meeting right at 1. Right? What's so bad about that? Okay, so this is received from, so my neighbor is sending me notifications. So I think I know why it's sending me those notifications. I just haven't configured it yet. So let's configure the neighbor, and hopefully those BGP notification messages will go away. So we're going to do show pipe display set, pipe no more. We've got all the configuration. So let's make a new group. And we'll say eBGP to load val path. Okay, so set type external. Set peer AS 65001. Set neighbor 10.0.99.2. Okay, so hopefully those messages will go away now. Oops, so we can't have, okay. Peer in neighbor group external must not be the same as the local AS. So I wonder if I can set the local AS to be the AS of the confederation for this particular neighborship. Because right now it's the AS of the sub-AS used within the confederation. But I want it to peer to the confederation AS and not the sub-AS. Okay, so let's do a pipe display set relative. We'll do a set neighbor 10.0.99.2, and we'll say local AS will be the AS of the confederation, 65000. Perfect. So, so error in neighbor group external peers AS must not be the same as the local AS. So I set the local AS to be something different. So maybe I've got two statements. Let's take a look. Nope, so I've got the neighbor is going to be in 65001, but I do specify the local AS as 65000. So I don't know why it's saying it's the same as the local AS, because I've set it to be different. So the local AS is going to be, yes, it's going to be 65001, but I define it as something different. All right, let's try something else. Oh, that's interesting. So let's do an up, show pipe display set. Okay, so let's delete that group. So again, you can see very clearly that the peer AS, so external peers AS, oops, and it just disappeared by merit of me clicking on it, that the external peers AS, yep, 65001, must not be the same as the local AS. And then it fails to give the whole thing. But you can see that the local AS is in fact not the same the way I specified it. Yes, it's the same if we do a show routing options, pipe display set, pipe no more. Yes, it's the same as the local AS here, which is set there. But I tried to overwrite it there. Clearly that is not possible. This is the local AS, no matter what you put here. This overrides any configuration there. That seems to be the case, which is not good. But I can use a different number for the AS I'm using. So I'll be doing that in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.